out Hello to HelloFresh. Limited time, $30 off your first box, free shipping. Healthy ingredients, easy to follow recipes. HelloFresh.com/Colin. By the way, I'll go back to this with Steph Curry. Steph Curry, to me, the most influential people of all time in the NBA is Michael Jordan. Even Derek Jeter wore MJ gear. The best baseball icon wore MJ's gear. Michael Jordan still, I think, top 2 or 3 shoe sales for basketball shoes in the world or the country. He hadn't played for 15 years. So Michael Jordan's 1, Steph to me is 2, and LeBron's 3. And I don't have any interest going through a long list. But, I mean, it's very reminiscent. Steph Curry in music would be Kurt Cobain. For years and years in the 80s, you had all these hair bands and Winger and White Snake and MTV and these, they were these kind of, hey, it was Def Leppard, and it was like women in the videos, hair bands jumping all over, and wow, we do blow for breakfast. And then this scrawny kid from coastal Washington came in named Kurt Cobain, and they did this dark music. And it was Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam and Nirvana, and they killed the hair bands. The hair bands looked like cornball, embarrassing, over-the-top, cliched dorks. Kurt Cobain and Nirvana killed the hair band. Steph Curry has killed the mid-range jumper. He's killed a shot. He's eliminated centers. You can't be on the floor in the NBA now if you can't shoot a 3. Nobody wants to draft a center. I talked to Mark Few, Gonzaga basketball coach, a couple years ago. He goes, I can't get parents to send me their 7-footer and play them back to the basket. They want to face the basket and shoot. That's Steph Curry. And again, you don't have to be the best burger to understand McDonald's is the most influential burger. Steph Curry is 10 on ESPN's list of most influential basketball players. To me, he's 2. And if it wasn't just for Jordan's staying power, which is remarkable, I'd have him number 1. Yeah, I go Jordan, Steph, and LeBron. You can put whoever you want after that. But this is an ode, a tip of the cap to Steph Curry. My son's I took him to an NBA game last night. He's not a big basketball fan. And by the way, there's other guys that weren't on this list, like Allen Iverson, I'd put way up there. Allen Iverson had real street influence, dress code influence. I mean, Allen Iverson's got to be in my top 5 or 6 as well. He wasn't in their top 10 at ESPN. So let me shift gears to this. So I don't understand the negativity around Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboy quarterback. I just don't get it. Yesterday, Stephen Jones, son of Jerry, came out, and he basically, I don't need to play the audio, but he compared Dak to Aikman. He said he's a little bit more like Aikman than Tony Romo. He wants precise routes into the pocket, and it was kind of a shot at Des Bryant, like actually run precise routes. But when I read that, I thought to myself, oh, my God, the negativity when you compare Troy Aikman, an all-time top 10 great, and Dak Prescott. Forget the fact that Dak's had 22 wins in 2 years with major distractions, Zeke, Dez, Jerry Jones, league stuff. But I've said this before. We have an image of people based on, if I say to you, here's a guy, he's from Harvard, you automatically think, oh, he went to Harvard. He's super smart, very successful. Or you say, this guy's a doctor. The average doctor in America makes $70,000 a year. That's a nice living. The average car sales manager makes over that. The manager of a car lot. You think doctor, prestige, wealth. A lot of doctors struggling to pay bills. Okay, but there's these preconceived notions. And if you're a first-round quarterback, oh, you're a talent. You get second, third, fourth chances. Dak's a fourth-round quarterback. We always doubt him. I've done this before. Cam Newton, Dak Prescott, put them up next to each other. Winning percentage, big edge Dak. Completion percentage, huge edge Dak. Passer rating, huge edge Dak. Touchdown to interception ratio, monstrous advantage Dak. And oh, by the way, in the last 2 years since Dak came into the league, Dak has more rushing touchdowns than Cam. And he's significantly more mature than Cam. But we apologize for Cam, and Cam's a first-rounder. Cam's a first-rounder. Hey, Right now, Dak, Cam, next 5 years, I'll take Dak. The numbers don't lie. But I know what you're saying, Colin. You don't like Cam. You're anti-Cam. You're not into Cam. Okay. I don't believe that to be true. I think the numbers are true. But you know what I'll do? Let's do a blind resume with Dak and 3 quarterbacks. So I'll do Dak Prescott against another number 1 pick at quarterback that wasn't Cam. All right. On the right, check. Blind resume. On the right, Dak Prescott. Who is another number 1 quarterback that Dak beats in all 4 categories? Completion, passer rating, touchdown, interception, winning percent. Matt Stafford beats him significantly in all the categories. Colin, but that's not fair because Detroit's a lousy organization. All right. Let's go to what we perceive to be a well-run, well-coached organization. Blind resume with the quarterback. And this guy is a Super Bowl MVP. Once again, Dak beats him. Winning percentage, completion percentage, passer rating, touchdown, interception. Check. Well, who would that be? Not even close, actually. Oh, that's Joe Flacco. All right, Colin. Flacco's always been overrated. You hate Cam, and the Lions are terrible. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna pick a guy that I like from a good organization that wins a bunch, and also like Dak has a really good O-line. Okay. All right. This one for sure, Dak's not gonna win. All right, Dak, winning percentage, check. Completion percentage, check. Passer rating, check. TD interception ratio, check. Who is this quarterback? Oh, it's Carson Wentz, the MVP for the first 14 weeks of the NFL season. Cam, Stafford, Flacco, Wentz. Number 1 pick, Super Bowl MVPs. The next great quarterback, Dak. But he's got a great O-line. So does Wentz. But he's a running back. Oh, yeah, because, Cam's never had good running backs. Flacco's never had good running backs. And last year, Philadelphia could just never run the football. Okay. I don't get it. Dak Prescott, 4th rounder. You don't pay him the respect because you didn't watch his college games. You really didn't. And he doesn't come from an all-time program. And he not only didn't go in the first, didn't go in the second, didn't go in the third, he went in the 4th. And by the way, there's another quarterback in the NFL with a very similar story that went in the 4th, and his own organization whizzed on him when he was there and has whizzed on him since he left. His name is Kirk Cousins. And in Vegas, they're the number 2 favorite to win the Super Bowl. Dak can win a Super Bowl. Dak may win a Super Bowl. Data, numbers, blind resume. Dak's the real deal and only getting better. And the Cowboys' schedule this year will be their weakest since he entered the league. Christine with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Well, last night, JaBron James had 41 points against Charlotte.
Yeah.
And that made him match Michael Jordan's streak of 866 consecutive double-digit scoring games.
That's a whole...
It's a lot. It's also
seasons.
kind of a random thing to find. But good, great. He's a very great player. And, of course, he was congratulated last night for doing this great thing. Yes, by himself.
Well, I've stayed available, obviously. I haven't played every game, but for the most part, I've played over, 70% of my games, throughout that journey, and just going out and just trying to be productive. I can't even tell you how I've been able to do it. It's not like I go into every game saying, okay, we got to get 10 points this game. It just kind of organically happens. And anytime I mention with some of the greats, and obviously arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, and Mike, it's just another feat for me to be just appreciative and humbled by, what I've been able to do, and just knowing where I come from.
I think that was very Very well stated.
Anytime I mentioned with one of the greats, it's pretty much a reminder of what I'm able to do, that I'm just so great. Like, he even said the word appreciative, or did he say humbled?
He did say humbled.
He did say he was humbled, but then he's not humbled. He just is reminded of how great he is constantly. Do you think he's trolling like us now? Because this has just gotten out of control.
No, I think it is. He knows he's not going to win the finals.
And so he's got to go on his personal campaign to be MVP?
Yes, I think players do it differently. Some goose their stats, and he is goosing his social media and his commentary. But I think he knows deep down that they're going to get out of the East, hopefully, but no shot. I think he knows he's going to get embarrassed in the finals, like swept.
Yeah.
And so he's saying that's why he's not missing any starts this year. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
And he's talking about how great he is campaigning.
So, first of all, let your greatness speak for itself. I'll always say that. But if you do want to campaign, because there are some players who do it a little tongue-in-cheek. Make it funny. Like Russell Westbrook, he had that Why Not shirt, and it has all the dates, like a tour date thing of all the days he had a triple-double.
Right.
It's funny.
Well,
it's
I would say
LeBron is very serious when he's talking about how great he is.
Listen, you and I have agents because we kind of have to.
Yes.
And they campaign for us.
Sure.
And politicians campaign, and football and basketball coaches campaign to get into the tournament. Campaigning is what everybody does now.
Yeah, but you and I aren't campaigning for ourselves. Our agents do it.
But
LeBron has so many people that can campaign for him.
I did mention on the air yesterday we were nominated for an Emmy. I was campaigning.
Yeah, but you weren't that pumped about it. I was excited, but you didn't say, like, you know, we were nominated for an Emmy, and we're also the greatest show, and I am the greatest host to ever be. And, you know, when I mentioned alongside these other shows, it's just a reminder of how great I am. And did you see how great I am? Do you know what our ratings are? Like, you don't do that. You let your agents do that, or the bosses do that.
Oh, believe me, my agents do that.
Well, he should. LeBron has so many people, and not to mention all the fans who constantly tell him how great he is. He doesn't need to remind us. Maybe he can take a page out of Joel Embiid's book, and I say this all the time. So yesterday, Joel Embiid collided with Markelle Fultz, and he had to leave the game, and he went to the hospital, and he posted this video on Instagram of him in the hospital. Do we have it?
Yeah, it's a pretty nasty collision.
Yeah, it was bad, and there he is. Not good. And people were really worried about it, but he's just being funny. He's going to be okay. Yeah. But this is how you do social media. Like, you're funny about it.
Well, you know how social media is. Like, some people, I don't get political on it. I don't know if you do. I don't follow everybody.
No.
Some people in our business get really political on social media. Mm-hmm. Some people get very sarcastic. We just put out clips of our show, but everybody uses social media differently. I mean, I've seen literally like high school, college age girls that are bikini modeling on Instagram, and I'm like,
that's weird.
Daughter, Olivia, let's make sure that doesn't happen, okay? Yes. Like, so I think people do use social media differently, and I think LeBron uses it to elevate his brand, and Joel Embiid does it to be really funny.
Yes, but by the way, that is elevating Joel Embiid's brand as funny, as a good basketball player, whereas LeBron, I feel like he just uses it to just remind us of how great he is.
Yeah,
I would rather...
I think he does.
He is great. Let that speak for itself.
Well, Facebook's great, but they're always reminding you how great they are. I mean, I think we live in a different world. I think people tell people how great they are now. It's a different world.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And finally, Karl Anthony Towns scored 56 points against the Hawks.
Oh, he did last night?
Yes.
Holy God, I didn't hear that.
And
56?
By the way, he is part of our Real Deal brought to you by Carl's Jr.
I love Karl Anthony Towns.
Let me read this. $5 All-Star meals, and today's Real Deal is him. He is Karl Anthony Towns with his 56 points against the Hawks, which is the most points scored in the history of the T-Wolves. And he was asked about his achievement.
Before the game ended, the crowd gave you a standing ovation. There's chance of MVP, but it's clear that this crowd is thanking you for the effort that you put out there on the court tonight and throughout this season.
It's a humbling experience. You know, I got great teammates and great franchise behind me, so I just wanted to come out here, you know. It's great to have nights like this, but it's better to be in the playoffs, so we'll do that.
I love him.
Oh, now that is how it's done.
By the way, everybody in the world told me Anthony Davis going to wreck this league, and DeAndre Jordan and Joel Embiid, this is the guy. I've been saying this for 2 years. I've seen him play live 3 times.
Okay.
He gets after refs. He gets after teammates. He literally disposes of NBA bigs. This kid, I don't want to hear about DeAndre Jordan. I don't want to hear about Anthony Davis. I don't want to hear about Joel Embiid. I don't want to hear about Nerlens Noel.
Why
I
is
watched
DeAndre
him.
Jordan in this category?
Okay. This is the greatest center talent in a decade to come into this league. This kid is incredible.
And I really appreciate that afterwards he said, I am humbled by this. I have a great team and coaches behind me. But really what matters is the playoffs.
God, I love him. And he can shoot free throws.
Amazing,
Like 80,
the whole package.
he can shoot free throws. God, he's a great player.
I just really like the way that he talks.
All right.
That's news.
Good stuff. Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
The Odell Beckham Rams talk is heating up. I just want to give you a heads up on this. We're going to stay on this. Odell Beckham Rams talk is heating up. And let me just give you a couple minutes here, and then I'm going to take a break and get Caron Butler on the show. The reason it's heating up is this. This is what I hear. Back in 2007, the San Diego Chargers were like 14-2, and they had like 10 Pro Bowlers. And they were so good that the general manager, I think it was A.J. Smith at the time, decided that we don't have a good enough draft pick. We're like drafting 23rd, 24th, 25th. That they gave up 3 or 4 picks for a second-round pick. The player was Eric Weddle, still in the league, great safety out of Utah. And A.J. Smith at the time said, listen, our roster is so deep and we are so good, there's only one guy on our board that we think can come into our organization and start. The Rams, similarly, by acquiring Sam Shields, Marcus Peters, Ndamukong Suh, and Aqib Talib. They feel like at their draft position, 23rd, there are no college players they can bring in to start. Now, if they had the 5th pick, the 8th pick, the 11th pick, there are players they think could start for them. But the Rams do not believe that the 23rd pick in this draft for their roster is a starter. And so, why not give up the pick for Odell Beckham? Why not? That is what is going on in L.A. Ramland. The Giants yesterday advertised we're willing to move him, and the Rams are considering it, and I get what they're thinking. Remember, Jared Goff is only, I think, about 6-8% of their salary cap, maybe 5%. So they have some room here. But the Rams are telling you the draft, and Philadelphia is in the same spot. Philadelphia, at this point, is drafting so late, they're going to get a good, not a great player. Who can they get who would start? This is what happened to the Chargers back in 2007. They had LaDainian Tomlinson. They were winning a bunch of games. They just didn't feel they could get a starter at their draft position. So they traded like 4 picks for a second-round pick to get Eric Weddle, and it was a great move. All right, Caron Butler around the corner. What to make of LeBron James, the NBA's most influential list, and can you believe Kawhi Leonard getting clobbered by his own teammates in the press? That's coming up. With Tiger Woods soon to be back in the hunt in August at the Masters, now is the time for people who have never played fantasy sports to play DraftKings Fantasy Golf. It is the easiest of all the fantasy sports to play. It really is. $100,000 in total prizes up for grabs. 10 grand first prize. All you do is pick 6 golfers, 6 before the tournament tees off. Sit back, follow the action. Birdies, streaks, putts, and more. You rack up points. DraftKings.com, 6 golfers before tee off on Thursday, April 5th. Use the code HERD and play for free with your first deposit. $100 grand on the line, $10,000 to the winner. $5 minimum deposit required. Restrictions do apply. Go to DraftKings.com for details. DraftKings.com.
Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Bowls. Balanced, nutritious, and delicious. With